Hey everyone, how's it going? Happy Mother's Day. Welcome back to the channel. Dylan here. We have a big update today from FBI Director Kash Patel. So we're going to dive in, but before we do, we're going to read scripture and pray because God comes first. Amen? Comment the word amen in the comment section if you believe that God comes first in your life. And without faith, it is impossible to please God because anyone who comes to him must believe that he exists and that he rewards those who earnestly seek him. Amen. That's from Hebrews 11:6. And let's pray that all of us continue to seek God, even in the most difficult moments in our life. And my brothers and sisters, congratulations to everyone who has begun investing in the stock market under President Trump. The stock market has been absolutely soaring under the leadership of Donald Trump. We now have a totally free offer linked below, or if you're watching this on your TV, you can take out your phone and scan this QR code. And I also created a free investing tutorial for you to watch as well. And don't worry, you don't need a lot of money to get started. You could literally get started with just a couple bucks.
Behind statistics are real people. That is like Laken Riley's family, Rachel Morin's family, Jocelyn Nungary's family. Democrats wouldn't stand for them and honor them at that joint session.
I was there. Yeah. Not just those families, communities, kids, adults, everybody that wants to live the American dream. In 2025, in 1 year under President Trump's leadership, this FBI arrested 40,000 violent criminals. That's not the total arrest the FBI had. That number's closer to 80,000. But the 40,000 violent criminals we arrested, Sean, was a 112% increase from 2024. 112% increase. If this FBI under Donald Trump did nothing else but that is the only thing the mainstream media would be talking about if it was a President Kamala Harris. Now go behind the numbers. How can there be 40,000 violent criminals to arrest by just the FBI in 1 year? Break that down by state. 50 states. You do the math. We're talking murderers, rapists, pedophiles, gangbangers, terrorists, everybody that wants to harm our way of life, that President Trump stood up and ran on and said, we are going to crush violent crime. That's what we did. That number alone is emblematic of two things. One, President Trump is the absolute most successful president in U.S. history in reducing crime in the history of America.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
And two, why are there so many violent criminals in the United States of America? And
That's a very good point. You know, this is a first world country. This is supposed to be a safe country. Why are there so many violent criminals out on the streets too, not locked up?
hit on it. The open borders policy and the lax rules laid out by the opponents of President Trump to be pro-crime. Remember, these are the defund the blue movement people, to defund law enforcement. Trump resourced law enforcement and the FBI. So that number, 40,000 violent criminals, 112% increase in the first year under President Trump.
Okay, so I never do this on the podcast, but I get very frustrated because, and maybe I should be grateful, because the media does not tell the truth. And I think it's one of the greatest untold stories, and that is the numbers, the lives behind the numbers. I'm going to put up some full screens. I don't do this on my podcast, but I'm doing it here because the story is so deep, so wide, so profound, and it's impactful to everybody in a small town or a big city across the country. I mean, for example, and I'll put up the first one. Okay, in 4 years, they got 4 of the FBI's 10 most wanted.
Wow.
Under Biden. You've been in office a year when you eventually got sworn in, a little over a year?
Yeah, 14 months.
14 months. Okay. 8 of the 10 most wanted FBI on the FBI most wanted list, 10, 8 out of 10, that is an insane number. Now, I'll add to that, and by the way, in some cases, fugitives that have been on the run 70 years. Mm-hmm. In D.C., where the president put a surge of police instead of defund, you have motor vehicle theft down 56%, homicides down 52%, robbery down 23%, burglary down 21%. Okay, that should be a big story.
Yeah.
Especially in our nation's capital. What President Trump did was resource law enforcement, bring in the interagency, and unlock the FBI's greatest partners, state and local law enforcement authorities. And he went into D.C. and he said, not in the nation's capital. And we also did it in cities across America, whether it's Memphis or Miami or Dallas or San Francisco or L.A. But D.C., with the president's backing and with the backing of local law enforcement there, we were able to completely annihilate violent crime in the nation's capital, as it should be. And again, if you go back to, had President Kamala Harris done this, it would be the only story.
Hold on, I'm getting sick.
that the mainstream media would be talking about. Here's the theme that I think has been leveled by the mainstream media against President Trump. He did everything they wanted done. It's just that he did it, so they're pissed off at him. He shattered violent crime.
That's a really good point. And you could actually draw a parallel with that with Iran, because if you take a look at past presidents, I mean, even Hillary Clinton said that, oh, if I become president, we're going to obliterate Iran, you know? And then, obviously, do you think Barack Obama wanted, well, maybe he did want to give them pallets of cash. I don't know. But I don't think he wanted to be looked at as so weak. But now that Trump's doing this the right way, they're all kind of like jealous. Like they can't be happy for America because they hate Trump so much.
He safeguarded American communities. We got 8 of the top 10 most wanted. Again, these are just stats we talk about, but we went around the world and found these animals and brought them here. Guys that have been on the run for 60, 70 plus years in total, and put them in American prisons. You can't do that unless you have a commander in chief that says law enforcement is supreme and law enforcement is going to be supreme across the country, because that's what Americans voted for in record numbers when they put President Trump back in office.
So besides myself, have many other media outlets cover this?
I haven't seen too many. You've been...
Have you seen any?
Outside of you guys? No, not really.
Outside of Fox?
No. There's been some, other podcasts and streamers that cover it. Obviously, there's a good amount of them on social media, but...
Hey, right here. Give us a shout out.
No, they won't touch it. And they won't touch it because President Trump did it.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to put up another screen.
Well, actually, here on my show, I changed my channel name. I'm also changing it, guys. I want to be a source of just pure, unbiased news. So that's kind of my goal here on my channel, is to just be so unbiased that when you come to my show, I'm not shoving my opinion down your throat. I'm just trying to show the facts, the truth about what's going on. So that's my promise to you guys.
Operation Gangster Paradise, 30 pre-dawn raids, 30 alleged members of the Mexican Mafia in Southern California. You've also gone after the hate groups that go after synagogues and target specific groups. Tell us about that.
So 2 things, Sean. When I got to the FBI, I said, what is the one thing that is causing crime across the country? Not just the influx of illegal criminals and violent actors from everywhere in the world. It was localized street gangs. And I've never talked about this because you simply can't on a 3-minute show at night. Localized street gangs that were supported. And I'm not talking TDA and MS-13. We're handling that too. Localized street gangs in L.A., in Miami, in Denver, in New York, in Chicago. Do you know how many street gangs we dismantled last year? 1,800 localized street gangs have been eliminated from the streets of America through Operations Gangster Paradise, Operation Viper, and other things that we do. 1,800. That number, Sean, is a 20% increase from 2024. When you wipe out not just the headshed, the overseas components, the TDAs of the world, the MS-13s of the world, and you go down to the root level in the streets of LA and elsewhere and wipe out. And what we did in Philadelphia, I was there on the ground, we literally took out an entire city block in West Philadelphia of a localized street gang. And
that is insane.
They're the ones holding up everyday Americans as hostage and stealing their money and jacking their cars. That was a power that had not been unleashed. And this is what happens when you let good cops be cops. The FBI agents have come to me time and time again and said, we have been waiting 15 to 20 years to be able to do our job on the streets of America. And they're doing it because President Trump gave us the authority to do it.
You know, maybe this is a good moment to pause and get into this whole ideology, philosophy. It's being pushed by the left. Defund, dismantle, no bail, reimagine the police. Okay, that's some of the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life.
I mean, just look at the tragedies of this cashless bail policy. Every month we read about some violent offender who gets bail on a violent crime and goes out and does what? Murders a young American. Deals fentanyl to young school children, and they overdose and die. And that had never been highlighted except by President Trump. He is turning every democratic weaponized institution of justice on its head and challenging them to say, why aren't you passing these laws that are leading to the aimless deaths of young Americans? And again, he's the one centering the focus point on law enforcement. And that's what we're doing. We have to have state and local legislators fix that problem. President Trump can't do it at the federal level, but what we can do is make sure we roll these guys up, which we're doing in record numbers, and put them behind federal bars so they don't ever get out.
Whoa, so that's a huge update that they're wanting not to put them behind state bars, because that's when you have the policies of the state releasing them early, but federal bars, that's different, guys.
Isn't it, I say this often, isn't it a prerequisite to pursue happiness? To be able to pursue it, you need law and order, you need safety and security.
Yeah.
And that's not the life many Americans live. They don't have, if you're talking about entire streets, neighborhoods that are overrun by the gangs, the mobs, the little mafia groups, and then the bigger groups, MS-13, Tren de Aragua, etc. I mean, how do people pursue happiness when they are being terrorized?
That's just it. Now we're back on track to letting them pursue happiness. And if I could just tell a story out of my life,
Yeah.
What I'm trying to do, what drives me every single day. You're talking to a kid, the son of parents who fled a genocidal dictatorship in East Africa,
Right.
emigrated here lawfully, and watched their son become the director of the FBI. That is the American dream. But it's not about me. It's about capturing that lightning in a bottle and handing that American dream to every single kid out there. That's what President Trump's driving. More and more young Americans, more and more communities are saying the American dream, the right to pursue happiness, is back. Don't listen to me. When I go out, I go to field offices across the country. I stop in cafes across the country, and people come up to me and say, thank you to President Trump, my community's safe. Thank you to President Trump, the kids in our high school aren't overdosing on fentanyl. Thanks to President Trump, gangbangers aren't shooting people like they are in the streets of Chicago, where that governor and that mayor won't let us in to help the citizens of Chicago, even though President Trump has asked time and time again.
It infuriates me, you know, since Obama became president in 2009 on the TV show, you know, we talk about the two examples in Minneapolis, where the woman tried, whatever her name is, Renee Good, and this guy Preddy, whatever his name is. However, every weekend you can predict with pinpoint certainty in Chicago how many people will be shot, how many people will be shot and killed. I've asked Democrat after Democrat on my shows, can you name one person shot in your city? They can't name one because they can't weaponize it and use it to bludgeon Donald Trump or use it politically. Isn't that how I thought every life mattered?
Let's just look at Chicago for a second, Sean. How many times does a kid under the age of 10 have to be shot and caught in the crosshairs of gang fire before they'll do anything? How many stories of that? Double-digit stories from just last year alone. That, if it had happened under any other administration, would be the only headline saying, why is law enforcement failing its citizens, its most vulnerable citizens? But they wash over it because it's President Trump and this FBI. Even without Chicago's help, Sean, we've reduced violent crime in Chicago by 25 points. By 25 points. We're doing it anyway. And
In spite of local resistance.
And if they let us in, like they did in D.C., like they did in Memphis under the president's task force, those numbers would be doubled. we'd be saving twice as many lives.
It really is amazing. Explain, and I'll put this up on the screen, the 400 FBI agents that dedicated to Indian County, or country rather, 3 brand new task force that you put together. That was a big deal that didn't get any press.
I'm so glad you brought this up. This is one of my passion projects. I think everybody in the United States of America deserves the same brand of law enforcement. Indian country, our 575 dedicated Indian tribes across the land deserve the same brand of justice. If you go onto any reservation, and I've been on more reservations as FBI director than anyone before me combined, and you talk about missing kids, you talk about murders, you talk about unsolved violent crimes, they are plagued by it. Just last week, I was in Montana on the Crow Reservation. It's the size of Rhode Island and Connecticut combined.
Wow.
They got 5 cops. 5 cops.
What?
And so what we're doing is we did a durational program last summer called Operation Not Forgotten. We just lost Operation Steadfast Promise, which is going to dedicate 400 plus agents and intel analysts across Indian country for the entire year. We solved, I think, 2,000 cases on Indian country last year alone. I want that number doubled this year. We're going to solve the mysteries behind the gruesome murder of the Emily Pikes of the world. We're not going to forget Indian country. And I'm so glad you brought it up, because this is a representative of millions of people across the country who think they've been forgotten by law enforcement. But when I go and see them, they say, President Trump's the first guy to send law enforcement here and show up and ask for a partnership. And we're going to continue that.
All right, so President Trump just came out to address the nation. Let's tune in.
I thought we'd be down maybe 20%, and we're up. The stock market's higher now than when we started this war. And I thought oil prices would go to $200, $250. It's at $100 now. And I think you're surprised, and I'm surprised. But even if it went to 200, it would have been worth it. I understood that. We had just set a record.
How amazing is that, my friends? The stock market is soaring under President Trump. If you want to learn how to begin investing, we have a totally free offer right now. You can click the link below, or if you're watching this on your TV, you can take out your phone and scan that QR code. Just download the app. It's totally free to get started. It's never too late, and who knows, maybe you can even learn so you can help your children or your grandchildren as well. Personally, I started investing, and now my investments are up over $60,000. One of you guys even messaged me saying that you're up over $13,000. I believe this is the best time to start investing while Trump is president, because he's the best leader, and the stock market has been hitting record numbers under his leadership. So don't let this opportunity pass you by. Take it as your sign. It's totally free, and I break it down easy for you. I even have a free tutorial that I created just for you. It's all in the description box or pinned in the comments. So now this is when Kash talks about the room. There's like a secret FBI room that they found from James Comey. Let's tune in.
And the mainstream media is the combination of President Trump and myself running the law enforcement of this country. Because as you said 10 years ago, I led the charge to expose the Russiagate conspiracy.
I need you to go back and explain that to people, because you worked on the House Intel Committee, and I love Devin Nunes. He's been a friend for a long time. I spent years of my life on TV, night after night after night.
You were one of a few.
Okay.
Just
Unpeeling
a handful.
Me, John Solomon, yeah. Sarah Carter, Greg Jarrett. I mean, there was a small group of us.
That's what I mean.
Catherine Herridge. There was not a lot of us.
Mm-hmm.
We ended up being vindicated. However, you were on the inside. And Devin got vindicated, and that congenital liar, Adam Schiff, was not. So let's go back to the main point. You walk in the door, you already know things are bad. You know you have work to do foundationally within the Bureau. You had to feel like you're drowning. Did you not? I would have felt that way.
You can have that feeling. And at times I certainly did, but what you can't have happen once you became the FBI director is allow it to actually drown you. And so what we did, remember, let's hit the reset button, Sean, on what we put out and proved through facts in 2017, 2018. Remember this, it took me 2 years of my life to prove the following, that a political party in the United States of America in the 21st century would go overseas and hire some bogus intelligence asset to manufacture fraudulent, fake, unverified information funnel that to not just the intelligence community, but the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and then take those packaged lies that they had paid for with campaign finance funds and go into a secret surveillance court and illegally spy on your opponent to be the next president of the United States.
So what's going to happen with Obama or Adam Schiff? Because remember what Kash Patel said to Adam Schiff?
The American people to believe that? Do you think they're stupid?
No. I think the American people believe the truth, that I'm not in the weeds on the everyday movements of
you're
inmates.
Not in the weeds?
What I am doing is protecting this country, providing historic reform, and combating the weaponization of intelligence by the likes of you. And we have countlessly proven you to be a liar in Russiagate, in January 6th. You are the biggest fraud to ever sit in the United States Senate. You are a disgrace to this institution and an utter coward.
I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised that you continue to lie from your perch and put on a show so you can go raise money for your charade. You are a political buffoon at best.
Well, you can take an internet troll.
Take it to the bank that the FBI is protecting this country and the state and citizens of California. We are bringing historic reform.
Point of order.
But all you care about is a child sex predator that was prosecuted by a prior administration, and the Obama Justice Department and the Biden Justice Department did squat. And what did President Trump do? Bring new charges courageously. And what have we done?
Chairman,
you said I'm the most transparent FBI director in history. 33,000 pages of information to you. I challenge you to say anything credibly to the truth. Go ahead and run to the cameras where you want to go now.
Both of you be quiet.
Wow, that is wild, my friends. He is, I believe, really, going to focus on going after these people because, he wanted to get rid of the violent criminals, but I think now he's probably going to shift focus to people like Obama and Schiff.
But Adam Schiff is the worst criminal in Congress in the last 250 years. Adam Schiff went to the podium day after day after day saying, I know nothing about this. We're not going to discuss it. We're going to protect it. And then Adam Schiff, led the prosecution of the impeachment trial in the Senate of President Donald Trump. Talk about someone who was conflicted out of the game because he was part of the hoax that brought Charmella in, manufactured that false accusation, and then peddled it out to the world. And he continued, not surprising, he's lied about almost everything in his life. But now he lied just to set up a presidential impeachment. And that's what I was talking about, these disinformation campaigns. He should be investigated because he lied to the world about his interactions with Charmella, who is a whistleblower, and I can't stress it enough, that started a presidential impeachment.
Kash Patel, it seems like we're going to see some answers finally with Adam Schiff, which I'm actually looking forward to. Because Kash Patel just absolutely annihilated Adam Schiff, and Adam Schiff looks scared here. Take a listen, guys.
Turn around.
I'm looking at you. You're talking to me.
No, look at them. I want you to look at them if you can, if you have the courage to look them in the eye, Mr. Patel, and tell them you're proud of what you did. Tell them you're proud that you raised money off of people that assaulted their colleagues, that pepper sprayed them, that beat them with poles. Tell them you're proud of what you did, Mr. Patel. They're right there. They're guarding you today. Tell them how proud you are.
That's an abject lie, and you know it. I've never, ever accepted violence against law enforcement. I've worked with these men and women, as you know,
you
my entire life,
it in song,
and I did not make a single dime out of it.
In song. Well, let me.
How about you ask them if I have their backs, and let's see about that answer.
Let me ask you this, Mr. Patel. Let me ask you this. If an FBI director promoted a song of people who sprayed pepper spray in the face of an FBI agent, would you say they were fit to be director?
Mr. Schiff?
Yes or no? Would they be fit to be director?
I am fit to be the director of the FBI.
If you were the FBI director and you promoted a song with someone who beat an FBI agent with a pole, would you say you were fit to be FBI director?
Mr. Schiff, I am fit to be FBI director based on my 16 years in government service.
And yet you did all these things, Mr. Patel. You can say, oh, I support law enforcement. I decry violence against law enforcement. You could say all that. It's what you did, Mr. Patel, that matters. It's what you did that matters. Well, let me ask you about something else that you did, Mr. Patel. Did you claim that Donald Trump declassified all the documents at Mar-a-Lago. Did you claim that?
In what proceeding?
To the public, ever. Did you tell anyone that Donald Trump declassified all the documents at Mar-a-Lago?
From publicly available information, President Trump issued a declassification order on a variety of materials.
No, I'm just asking you, did you tell the public, did you tell anyone, did you make the claim that Donald Trump had declassified those hundreds of classified documents that were at Mar-a-Lago? Did you make that claim publicly?
From my best of my recollection, I said President Trump issued a declassification order to a large number of documents.
Yeah, and were you present when he declassified all the Mar-a-Lago documents?
Senator, I'm not saying he declassified all the Mar-a-Lago documents. I said President Trump declassified a large number of documents, and I would hope this committee and the rest of Congress would want to get those documents to the American people.
Mr. Patel, before a president or anyone declassified documents, wouldn't you want to know whether making the public would cause sources to be killed? Wouldn't you want to know that before you just declare they're all declassified? Wouldn't that be the responsible thing for a president to do?
It was the responsible thing for us to do. That's why we declassified the Nunes memo.
And did Donald Trump declassify?
And no one died.
And did Donald Trump ever ask any of the agencies who produced those documents whether declassifying them would put people's lives at risk? Did he ever do that, to your knowledge, Kash Patel?
I don't know that he didn't. Do you?
No, that's the problem, isn't it? That's the problem, isn't it? So let me just ask, Mr. Chairman, if you would, Mr. Patel has said he has no problem. He would support the release of his grand jury testimony in that case. I would ask you, Mr. Chairman, ranking member, to join me in requesting, with Mr. Patel's approval, the release of those grand jury transcripts. And I would also ask Mr. Patel whether you support the release of Volume 2 as it pertains to you of the special counsel's report. Any reference to you in the report, to your truthfulness, will you support the release to this committee of those sections of Volume 2 of special counsel's report?
I support following the law and providing whatever information the law requires.
Well, you said to the Wall Street Journal that you support transparency. Here's your chance, Mr. Patel. You support release of that to this committee, yes or no?
Your time's
Wow, Adam Schiff just got annihilated by Kash. And Kash got into a shouting match with a reporter who's trying to go after him for his job performance and talking about him potentially getting fired. Look at this. This is crazy, guys.
I'm on the job. I'm the first one in. I'm the last one out. I'm like an everyday American who loves his country, loves the sport of hockey, and champions my friends when they raise a gold medal and invite me in to celebrate. I've never been intoxicated on the job, and that is why we filed a $250 million defamation lawsuit. And any one of you that wants to participate, bring it on. I'll see you in court.
Explain the computer login issue. Just explain the computer login issue. You were not able to log into your lawsuit contends that you were not able to log into the system. What did you think after you were unable to log into the system?
Let's have a survey. How many of you people believe that's true? Hang on.
Did you communicate?
You asked the question. Let me answer it.
No, let me.
No.
Did you communicate with anyone that you thought you were fired after you were unable to log into?
The problem with you and your report. Don't cut me off. You asked the question.
Straightforward question.
The problem with you and your baseless reporting is that is an absolute lie. It was never said. It never happened. And I will serve in this administration as long as the president and the attorney general want me to do so.
Did you talk to anybody about whether you thought
The
you were
simple
fired?
answer to your question is you are lying. And every time you do so, I've answered your question. It's simply as follows. I was never locked out of my systems. Anybody who says
your lawsuit says the opposite. Your lawsuit contends.
Anyone that says the
Your
opposite is lying.
The lawsuit
Thank you.
that you filed says that directly.
Look, man, stop. You're being extraordinarily rude. And I know maybe that's part of your profession, but please just stop. If you ask a question, he can answer it. And then wait, now you're interrupting me. Like, just a little bit of respect, man. Just a tiny little bit. Try it sometime.
All right, we have breaking news. President Trump has caused a market rally. The S&P 500 has surged to a record high. If you begun investing, if you join my program, this is exactly what we are investing in. So take a listen.
Stock market just hit a record high. Isn't that something? Not just since the war began, but it's the highest it's ever been.
How amazing is that, my friends? The stock market is soaring under President Trump. If you want to learn how to begin investing, we have a totally free offer right now. You can click the link below. Or if you're watching this on your TV, you can take out your phone and scan that QR code. Just download the app. It's totally free to get started. It's never too late, and who knows, maybe you can even learn so you can help your children or your grandchildren as well. Personally, I started investing, and now my investments are up over $60,000. One of you guys even messaged me saying that you're up over $13,000. I believe this is the best time to start investing while Trump is president because he's the best leader and the stock market has been hitting record numbers under his leadership. So don't let this opportunity pass you by. Take it as your sign. It's totally free and I break it down easy for you. I even have a free tutorial that I created just for you. It's all in the description box or pinned in the comments.